We're going to talk. We go back to the UC Davis pepper spray incident where the police violently overreacted to peaceful protesters, and a scene that was called horrific by the chancellor who ordered the police in. So everyone seems to agree when you watch that video. It kind of shocks the conscience. And
I always thought they were just seasoning the guys. I thought they were just flavoring them for the and they just never ate them.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That they were under seasoned.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So
it's like at Kent State when they threw paprika all over the protesters.
And then in Mississippi the next week it was cinnamon.
Yes.
Yes. People forget about the next week. Mississippi killed 5 kids too on
the week after Kent State.
Yes, people forget about Kent State gets all the attention.
They had a good publicist.
They really
was it 5 or 3? Was it the Schwerner Goodman Cheney or?
I'm not sure how many people were killed in Mississippi, but they did kill more students the next week in Mississippi.
Wow. So Kent State is the Michael Jackson, and Mississippi is the Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah,
in that circumstance.
Yeah, the right. Yeah, I guess so. Farrah Fawcett. You're talking about celebrity deaths,
sure? Yeah,
that happened at the same time.
They happened like within 24 hours of each other, and no one.
And you know who was died the same day that Kennedy was shot was Aldous Huxley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Brave New World.
Yeah.
Aldous Huxley.
He must have been pissed.
Shot too? Was he shot too?
No, he.
All right, let's move on. So we're going to get to this week's Oh My God. And I was watching the show on Hannity, and he was interviewing a few people, and they were talking about the pepper spray and if they thought it was an overreaction or not, which, most shows just talk about how bad of an overreaction it was. It's still up for debate on the Sean Hannity show, and here's what Sean had to say.
No, but in all seriousness, that's a lot of pepper spray.
Yeah.
It was a lot of pepper spray.
All right, did they cross the line? I don't think so.
I didn't see what happened before then, but it does look like an unruly dosage.
I've read that they were provoked, and the sad part is we only have a clip, and that's what happens when you only get a clip.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. If you're into fetishizing punishment, that's a good point.
Yeah, I read somewhere. He said he read somewhere.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that they were provoked.
That's my favorite type of journalism is vague recollection, school of journalism.
There's a vivid videotape of what happened, but I read somewhere that it might have been different from that. I mean, and when you might have read something somewhere, that takes precedence over the tape.
Very, very much so. Over the vivid, I like that's a pretty good word. Vivid videotape, which kind of
for a second I thought you were talking about porn.
For a second I was, and
they still make a quality product.
The vivid videotape, which got me in trouble with my mom.
The only provoking, they were all sitting down. So the only provoking is were the kids being sarcastic with them? Were they saying na 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 na? What
They were sitting peacefully in an aggressive manner, Frank.
Yes.
That's everyone knows. Frank, you don't know much about snakes, but they recoil first in a sitting position, and then they jump at you.
And that's what liberals are snakes.
Yeah, liberals are little snakes sitting.
They were aggressively hunching their shoulders and bowing their heads.
It was the silent judgment that the police felt.
Yeah. They were defending themselves from the silent judgment.
Yes,
that's what it was.
Well, there was one time one of the officers looked at and then the kid didn't meet his eye, and it was really awkward. He got really pissed, and so he was provoked.
Yeah. Let's hear this guy one more time.
I've read that they were provoked, and the sad part is
I read that they were provoked. I saw according to the New York Times, according to the Atlantic Monthly. No, I read somewhere. Oh, where? In an email from Officer John Pike.
WorldNet Daily.
That's what's so nice about Fox News is they can make sure that they get every little tidbit of hearsay.
Yes. Thank God for the
Can you imagine what the Fox News court of law would be like?
And thank God for the First Amendment, Paul, because without it, Fox News could not go on and make stuff up every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the important thing. Or they couldn't report things that they read somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to get them writing on some sitcoms out here because the creativity that they show in coming up with dialogue.
Some of the best fictional programming on television.
And I'm sure you guys saw the news piece about the research that had been done where they polled people about current events, and people that watch Fox News are less informed than people that don't even read the newspaper.
I was
not aware of that poll because I watch Fox News.
Very nice. Yes, that was quite a poll. A couple of years in 2003 or 2004, University of Virginia did a study on Fox News, and they found that of all the major, their study was they studied all the different news organizations: CNN, ABC, CBS, PBS, and Fox, MSNBC, and the people who watched Fox were like 3 times more likely to have the major facts of the major stories of the day incorrect. Yeah. Like they were wrong about did Saddam attack us on 9/11? Did he have weapons of mass? They thought the opposite of the facts on all these things.
Oh, sure.
So now a news survey comes out, and not only are they less informed than the people who watch other news, they're less informed than people who don't watch
anything.
Yeah.
Don't watch any news.
Well, because that's what so many times what Fox's mission seems to be is to disinform, not just not inform, but to state the opposite of what the truth is.
This has been Oh My God.
Oh my God!
So let's talk about. We're going to keep on the theme of Occupy Wall Street because I was watching Neil Cavuto, and who I love, and I don't want to turn it. It's very easy to let the show turn into let's make fun of Fox News because it's very easy. They give you nothing but straight.
But we
line.
only have an hour, unfortunately.
We only have an hour. It's very easy to do that, but I've got to say, for whatever reason, I was watching Neil Cavuto because I like his voice is so velvety. It really is. He does the whisper thing, that Pat Robertson's son does.
It's dreamy.
It really is. It gets me. So I started watching. So here he is talking about he's against the violence that the police were using against the protests, which I was shocked by. But his reasoning might be a little suspect. Here's why he says you shouldn't use violence on protesters.
Reminder to those who disagree with those they find disagreeable. Hear them, don't gas them.
See, that's good. At first, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, wow.
Hear them. Don't gas, so let them have their free speech. And because it's the right thing to do, Neil, and it's ethical, and it's what this country was based on. Let's see.
Because every time you do, you see the advantage to them. Viewers who wonder, whatever protesters are saying, is it worth shutting them up with pepper spray while they're peacefully sitting? I think you lose an argument when you force an argument or forcibly try and remove those arguing. It wins attention to a cause that would otherwise be ignored and makes the ones spraying and gassing the culprits in a battle of ideas that would otherwise be to their advantage. It is one thing when protests turn violent. That the world can see. It is quite another when they do not, but you respond with violence because that the world can see too. And I tell you, they remember that a lot more.
Okay, now you have to read between the lines there, but yes, Neil Cavuto is still being a douchebag. You have to.
Oh yeah. Well, I love that it was like. This whole thing, it turns the people gassing into the bad guys.
Right.
It makes them look bad.
It makes them look like the bad guys. Yeah. Don't beat the protesters, not because it's horrible and goes against everything we claim to believe in America.
It risks the 1% losing.
Yes, don't beat them because we're going to lose the support of the people we can usually trick into supporting us.
Yes.
That's what he's really saying. That
Right.
And we've made that mistake before, like when police overreacted with fire hoses and guns, and the result was people got to vote and go to college. So let's make sure nothing like that ever happens again. And I'm with Neil on that because in a battle of ideas, I'm always going to pick the cops. I'm always right. That's basically what he's saying? Your ideas are better. Your ideas are better. So remember, the goal is always to ignore the people protesting unless they're protesting against Obamacare.
That's right.
What the message I really liked in there was don't gas them because then we as a news station have to cover it.
I bet that's it.
If we don't, if you
otherwise
don't,
it's obvious that we're skewed because there's no way in good conscience, what little conscience we have, there's no way that we can not show this or not cover it. Then it's too obvious.
We can ignore it just as long as you don't let the dogs out.
That is amazing, right? And I cut a little bit out of that just to shorten it up so we didn't play the whole thing. But at no point did he ever say, and by the way, it's horrible to do this to peaceful protesters because it's not what we do in America. And these are just students protesting for lower tuition because they can't go to college anymore. So at no point, it's all about these. Don't let them think that they're not animals. Don't let them think that they don't deserve this. It was all about that. that. Which so I just want people who are listening not to think that I'm skewing anything. Okay.
Fox,
no.
Fox in general, with Hannity and Bill O'Reilly and Megyn Kelly, and they've all come out on the side of the police in this.
Yes, they have all come out on that.
Yeah.
What? And I feel like I have the right to be able to say this because I was raised Catholic, but there is something in the gene in certain Catholics that they really love the idea of punishing people that don't agree with them.
Mm-hmm.
And because, I mean, Kelly, Hannity, O'Reilly.
Well, it's kind of ironically, because it's that kind of a mentality is beaten into you.
Yeah.
As a kid, I grew up Catholic, and I don't know if it's Catholics or it's just kind of fundamental religions in general or whatever, but they make you think that the whole thing is
if you question tradition, violence is meted out.
You're bad. You come from sin, so you're born bad. Right. So you're a bad person, so you deserve punishment to start with.
But here in Hollywood, they don't believe in original sin because they don't believe in originality.